Some of the goals we had for the project were to give us the opportunity to memorize a piece of music in the context of orchestra, something we don't get to do very often. In order that we might get rid of the chairs and get rid of the stands, clear the stage, and explore movement and the ways that movement can enhance our music making.
Each section has a lot to do in this piece, but there's a lot of passing off in this piece. So, for instance, towards the end of the work, it's the second violins playing. They pass it to the violas pass it to the first violins, and they pass it to the cellos. So this interplay that's happening in the score is now not only happening in the playing, but it's also happening in the body, in the breath, in the playing. I started with just looking at the score and listening, and just seeing who could do the most movement, because first of all, they're memorizing this music and they're standing, which is new for them. So not overwhelming them with movement in the playing in terms of choreography. And then went through and just gave pretty simple movement phrases that are effective with all of the mass of musicians. And then as we went through and they became more comfortable with the memorization of the playing, starting to fine-tune that little bit of just that giving off, that passing off in just the simple lean in. And also what we're still working on is just the allowing of the natural movement and breath that they already have. It's just allowing for them to go a little further. I'm
so thankful for the creativity that Caitlin has brought to the process in basically composing dance and movement phrases to go along with the Copeland we've been learning, in order to manipulate those phrases and then introduce them in different sections of the physical space, as the audience is then brought into different musical phrases throughout the performance.
The first session was all a movement-based session for the most part, and I have to say I was a little overwhelmed with the amount of musicians I had to work with, and I think it was just kind of crossing this trust and being comfortable with moving, because they're such brilliant musicians, but then to bring in movement is like, I don't know how that works, I don't know how that works. So just again, that sort of like breaking the ice period happened the first time. Then it kind of progressed. Then we went into just learning movement without the instruments, the phrases put in the arrangement of the bodies in space. And then the third session we started to play the full piece with the movement. And then the fourth session was really about like refining, amplifying, finding the feeling and sort of the intention for the arc of the work in the playing and between each other.
I think for many of us, this music and movement project took us outside of our comfort zone and gave us an opportunity in a safe and supportive environment to take artistic risks as we work together to achieve a collaborative outcome. I hope that the exploration we've made of movement through this project will now transfer to our work as music makers in the future, and that our orchestral perspective will be enhanced on account of working with Caitlin and exploring the intersection of dance and music.